Everything was so good! Ah! Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, the new branch for the Yakuza series, Judgment. Monster Hunter World, going even wilder with its Iceborne expansion. Super Mario Maker 2. Death Stranding finally releasing after so many years. A Star Wars game that released with no controversy behind it. A Link's Awakening remake. That one mecha game that was advertised on every single Nintendo Direct. Luigi's Mansion 3. Gathering Full Body. River City Girls, oh my god! I didn't play any of those games. Yet. But that's a good thing, you know? It just goes to show that 2019 had a lot of great games. It was pretty hard to play all of them. And also because of different reasons. But what about the ones that I did manage to play? Is this a top 10? No, just a quick rundown of all the highlights that happened this year. So let's dig into it. Kingdom Hearts 3. 13 years of build-up, so many side games, so many characters, and much more confusion added to the mix, only for the final product to be... Okay, I'm kidding. I don't think Kingdom Hearts 3 is terrible. I honestly enjoyed it a lot. When it comes to this franchise, I don't care about the overall story, because it's stupid. My main drive to play these games is the good-looking combat and because... Disney... And Kingdom Hearts 3 naturally has all of that. This game looks good, it has beautiful and colorful worlds, it has Toy Story, and overall it's just a really fun experience. But it's easy to see why so many people consider it a disappointment when you take into account the 13 years of build-up behind it. But since I don't care about that... On the other side of games that took years to release but people didn't find disappointing, what about Bloodstained? Do you like Castlevania? Do you like Metroid? This is the game you've been looking for. A pure, perfectly executed Metroidvania. Included in this game we have responsive controls, a well-designed castle to explore, a plethora of different weapons and skills to help your exploration, exhilarating boss battles, music composed by Michiru Yamane, and a super adorable protagonist. The right ingredients to deliver an experience that is challenging, welcomes many different playthroughs, and also proves that sometimes the only thing developers care about is to deliver the best possible experience they can do. However, if Metroidvanias are not exactly your sauce, why not give a shot to Cadence of Hyrule? Have you ever tried Crypt of the Necrodancer? I haven't, but I like Zelda games. And I also like rhythm games. That's how I got this game. Before writing this video, I did some research on how the original game plays, and what caught my eye is that Cadence of Hyrule is not just a copy of Crypt of the Necrodancer with a Zelda skin all over it, no! Because it also feels like a real Zelda game. You have an overworld with changing screens, you got classic Zelda items, towns to unwind, secrets to find, and the Zelda music we all know and love. All of this blends extremely well with the core gameplay and the randomly generated dungeons of Crypt of the Necrodancer, and what you get is an extremely addictive rhythm game that also plays like an adventure game. It is brimming with beautiful sprite work, it has fantastic remixes, and it also pays great respect to both franchises. And since I just mentioned paying respects, can we just talk about that incredible remake of Resident Evil 2? What I love about this game is, well, the dark atmosphere, the gross and highly detailed enemies, the best presentation and graphics in the series by far, how it put me in so many situations where I had to carefully think my approach, how I had to wisely manage my inventory, and how many times it made me panic. But the one thing that excelled the most is how it uses sound to induce fear. Yes, Mr.X is part of the equation. The way in which you can hear his footsteps from miles away, how you can hear zombies approaching, or how you can attract leakers by making loud noises. That really tensed me up, but those were moments where I had to think fast and quickly adapt to the situation. All of that created a unique experience that I don't get to feel too often. This game made me hyperventilate, it made me scream, it took my heartbeat to dangerous levels, and I seriously loved it. Yeah, most people don't want to feel that, but that's exactly what the point of the game is. So I'll say they did an excellent job with it. ¿Quién es? Astral Chain. I'm a huge Platinum Games fan. I simply adore character action games. And this one not only does what a game of that genre should, it also adds its own identity and creates an experience that feels original. Astral Chain has some negative aspects. It has one of the weirdest control schemes I've ever played with. It has a kinda slow beginning, and it also has instances where it wants to do things different. Some of them are pretty good, and others not so much. But the core gameplay, the fast-paced action is what makes this game so great and so satisfying to play. Astral Chain shines with so much promise, as it leaves the gates open for improvements in the future, and it also shows that Platinum Games still doesn't lose the touch at the one thing they're best at. The year wasn't only jam-packed with new games to try out, it also saw a lot of ports. Out of those ports I tried out, Dragon Quest XI easily stood out the most. Does it ever happen to you that you know that a certain franchise has been extremely popular for years, but you have never tried it? That was Dragon Quest for me, and good lord! Honestly, I literally just quickly talk about this game on my latest video, so I won't repeat what I already said, cause my mind hasn't changed at all, so I'll just leave it as that. Dragon Quest XI is a game with so much love, so much attention to detail, and so much heart. It presents itself as a basic JRPG, but trust me, it is much, much more than that. Out of all the hype that happened this year, there was a particular event that just made me lose it. It wasn't even a video game, and if you've been following this channel for a while, you probably know what I'm talking about. In case you don't, I'll just let this little clip speak for itself. Oh, you have no idea how hard I lost it when I saw that. The Banjo-Kazooie series mean a lot to me. And by series I mean Kazooie and Tooie. Since I was a child, I've desired them to be in Smash. They were my dream characters. So this moment you're witnessing right now, it was insane, you know that? I don't trust leaks whenever they surface. But every time Banjo-Kazooie were mentioned, it was like hitting me on a weak spot. I didn't believe them, but I really wanted them to be real. And sometimes that disappointment hit really hard. Look at my expression when Incineroar was revealed after the Grinch leak. That's how a broken man looks like. Banjo-Kazooie's reveal in Smash remains as one of my hypest moments of the year. I really think 2019 was a wonderful year for gaming, cause let's take things into account. We had so many games, and so many of those I couldn't even play because there were just so many of them, and because of the other reason. The ones that I did play, however, they were even better than good, and each one of them delivered something that set them apart. And then one of my favorite franchises got some well-deserved love after so long. And that's not the end of it, because there's still 2 more games. Each one of them left me something bigger than a fun time. They both made me feel things I can't even begin to describe, not just because of their quality, but also for what they mean to me. Devil May Cry 5! Ugh! I just said it with Astral Chain. I adore character action games. The feeling behind destroying a huge variety of enemies, having a wide array of weapons at my disposal, fighting bosses that will force me to polish my skills, and all of that while having hard-hitting music playing in the background. These are the ingredients necessary to make my blood pump and my hands sweat. These games, for the most part, tend to be relatively short, but they compensate it by having ridiculously good replay value. The more times you play these games, the more demanding they get, and the only way to go further is to get better. Devil May Cry carries all of that and masters them, but what makes this franchise stand out from the competition is its unique charm. It's full with stupidity. It wants to have a good time. It has a perfect degree of self-awareness, and at the same time it's also never afraid to take itself seriously, because it can tell a good story if it wants to. And Devil May Cry 5 embodies those aspects I love so much and blows them to new heights, all while at the same time it pays respect to the legacy this franchise has left. This is not just about defeating an enemy and move on. This is about how you defeat an enemy, how many different paths you can take based on your playstyle and how that can create a new experience. This is not just another action game. This is a king of the genre. This was one of the most polished, refined, deepest and most exciting games I've ever had the pleasure to experience, period! I can tell you with no hesitation that this is a masterpiece, and I couldn't be happier about that.
How's that for road rash?
Okay. I need to calm down. There's still one more game to talk about. Fire Emblem Three Houses. Ah! I might be beating a dead horse at this point, but some of you already know how much I really despise Fire Emblem Fates. To keep a thesis short, I hate this game. Not just because I think it's terrible, but I also hate it for the negative impact it left on the franchise. And honestly, I was so worried the series will never recover from it. When Three Houses was announced, I was on the defensive, because something even worse could happen. And it didn't. In fact, the total opposite happened. How can I even begin to describe how much I love this game? Is it the core gameplay being as fun as it's always been? The satisfaction of seeing your units grow to be stronger than ever? The challenge of beating difficult maps and taking risks? All of them. And then Three Houses does more. The school setting was something so many of us criticized, and it ended up being a fresh and comforting experience. We got so many great quality of life changes. The core gameplay adds its own touches to set it apart from the other games. We got new mechanics, an incredibly well done voice acting, and easily one of the best stories in the entire franchise, along with some of the best executed characters. What I love about this game is how morally grey it is. No matter the path, no matter the character, the grand majority of them have bad just as they have good. You don't necessarily have to love them because of that, but that's what I find so endearing about them. Why are they the way they are, and how that ties in with the conflict at hand. This effectively makes the world of Fire Emblem Three Houses feel alive and its characters more humane, and in my opinion, that gives the world building of Tellius a really good fight. I won't act like this game is perfect. Unlike Devil May Cry 5, the faults here are easier to spot. I won't pretend there wasn't a lack of focus, some questionable design choices, and a good chunk of recycled maps. But the positive things this game has far outweigh the negatives. This was a game that not just gave me fun, it delivered a rush of emotions, it delivered quality, but most importantly, it rekindled my love for the Fire Emblem series back in full force. In less than 2 months, I spent 280 hours on it. Much more than Smash Bros. Ultimate in a year, mind you, and I don't think I wasted a single minute on it. This was for me a truly special game. Honestly, if you were to ask me which one of these two is my game of the year, I will be unable to answer you, because I just can't choose one over the other. These are completely different games. They both have their unique qualities that defines them, and both of them come from franchises that make me go insane. Devil May Cry 5 was a unique case where I took my hype very high, to dangerous levels I might say. If this game had been any less of that, then it wouldn't have left a huge impact on me. And guess what? It was all the good things I hope it would be, and then it was even more than that. Fire Emblem Three Houses. I didn't have much hype for it at first, but the more details it revealed, and the more evidence I was seeing that they were putting effort on it, the more my mind was starting to change. Once I finally got my hands in the game, I just... Wow. 2 different games, 2 completely different experiences, and they both did something that goes beyond incredible. What a year it was, seriously! It makes me wonder how 2020 can compete with it. Hey, it looks promising. We got Cyberpunk, the Resident Evil 3 remake. My most anticipated game by far is the Final Fantasy VII remake. I just hope Square Enix won't screw it up. Whatever comes, I'm sure it'll be a year full of surprises. Like Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing New Horizons releasing on the same day.